First stop, Guernsey.
driving, and he's trying to get around this car that's going backwards, so he's too close. And these people are, oh no, these people are saying, oh no, oh no, oh no. They're helping him though. Jeez. Okay, there's some beautiful road there. Say hello, David. Turn around. Oh. Ay, Dios. Okay.
One, let's get pouring. Absolutely fantastic. All right, folks, well, please come on down. Let's catch up memories here tonight at your Champagne Waterfall. Our captain will be giving you the welcome speech approximately 8 o'clock. Have a fantastic time here. Moonlight Quartet, it's back to you.
Based just across the water where we are here. So a lot of those houses now they're all in private hands, and as you can see, a couple of them are used now as bed and breakfast. But they're fine houses, and all the older architecture you'll see as we travel along will be mainly of an English or British influence. Actually for sale if you've got a bit of spare change. Now we'll be coming back in this way, guys, because Cove being an island, this is the only way on and off. So we're going over the bridge, and we get a better look of that tower on the way back in. We're at the coming off Cove Island just now, and this is Fota Island on your left hand side. Now Fota Island is a walled estate, and there's plenty of walled estates around Ireland if you drove around. They were basically estates that were given to our English rulers in the past, given to, we'll say, earls or lords. Have any of you been to Ireland before, guys, or is this first time for everybody? No. I can tell you what I like, so and you want to.
Where's, oh, the body stone's all the way at the top?
Yeah.
Oh.
So he said 100 and something steps.
I didn't know know that it was inside one because I thought it was outside. Yeah, no, I think those
It's
are
getting
nice.
better for you. Just a second. Just a few steps.
Okay.
There's much more.
Oh, this is fine.
There's the next room.
Okay, I'm glad I did it.
Are we almost there?
I don't know, but it's just as long as
They got the little windows.
my heart is beating like you would not believe. I get very claustrophobic. No.
To the young lady's bedroom.
I have no idea how we came out of the same way. Oh, this is cool.
So just in case you need a little
Yeah.
Oh, the
rest.
ladies'
So as
bedroom.
long as I have little windows along the way, whatever, I'm okay.
Yes, there's another one.
Okay. Whew. I was getting the same anxiety I get with like an MRI. Which that's like.
Well, you got like that in the Statue of Liberty, didn't you?
I know, I never made it to the top. That was the first time I ever. Maybe look up.
I'd be afraid I was gonna fall over and then like get stuck in the
I guess they don't want you standing on these today.
No, that would be Here's the house.
Wir müssen mit hoch.
You can see from up here.
Oh, that's true.
They're either woolly stones or blue stones.
And I think they tell you exactly how to do it.
I don't want to pay for it.
Well, maybe they just take the picture, then you have the option of buying it or
Well,
not.
I'm sure you do.
Yeah.
So they don't let you take your own.
Oh, they don't?
Oh, it's good. Say that?
Your hands left and right, hold the bars. Head back.
Oh, I'm not gonna
Kiss now. Come on. There you are, love. Well done.
Oh,
Check it out down below if you want, okay?
thank you.
Next, please. Be seated.
Oh, do I need to take my glove? Here, Mimi.
And lean back.
Okay.
And raise your hands, hold the bars. Head back, lift in and kiss. Next,
You
please.
doing it?
Next, lads. Come on, move up. And be seated now. Put your back to the wall now. And lean back and raise your hands, lift in right. Hold the bars behind
Oh, here's your glasses.
Thank you.
you.
I think you should go in front of me.
Oh, are you coming down, Mick? Okay, be careful. This could be slippery. Well, until you get the guardrail, then you're fine. That's an enormous leaf.
We're going to run out of stone.
We could, you're right. Come a little bit more to your right. Okay, good. You're in the middle of the stairs now. Great foot shot. Okay. Okay, now turn around. You're on the edge. You can move more to the right. Yeah, it's fine. You're fine now. Now it is.
Okay, I'm gonna go get some.
Okay. All right, now you gotta turn around and come back up.
Well, I'm at the bottom?
Yes, turn around with your eyes closed and come back up. That's the harder part, apparently.
It would be if it didn't have this rail.
Are you making a wish? You're supposed to be making a wish. Okay, that's the last one. Be careful. You got a stone in front of you. Turn around with your eyes closed. Ta-da! You did it!
Did you hold the camera on an angle?
Both ways.
Okay, because if you do it the other way, it'll come out.
Tell me when I'm at the end, by the way.
I think you're at the end.
Okay, you gotta tell me when to turn around.
All right, turn around. Turn around, I said.
Take a look at that stone over there.
Okay. I'll step out of your way.
Sailed up and down the city centre, so it still follows the path, an estuary of the river as it goes through the street. As I said to you earlier on, the city is called Corkig, which means a boggy place. So literally, the area when it first was here was a series of small little islands, all separated, and eventually over the years, with different settlers coming in, they reclaim more and more of the land, and you have what is now the city centre today. But in its original state, there was just a series of small little islands, all joined together eventually to form the city centre. So if you take a quick look to your right, guys, I'll go across as slowly as I can, you will see the city's main shopping centre, or main shopping street. Now, as you can see, it loses its bend there now, and that's part of the S shape as it goes down. The city itself, its first known inhabitant was a monk called Finbar, later to become known as Saint Finbar. He set up a monastery on the western fringes of the city centre, and so he was literally the first known inhabitant that we know of. Shortly after that, the next major influx of people would have been the Vikings, Vikings sailed up a lot of the rivers in Ireland, and formed the cities of, like we'd say, Cork, Waterford, Limerick, Dublin. All those cities would have been started by Vikings sailing up the rivers and settling on encampments. The next big group to come would have been the Anglo-Normans. They settled here and probably became more Irish than the Irish themselves. And then after that we had the English rulers came, and they were the longest to stay. Like agriculture would be one of the biggest biggest industries we have in the country. In actual fact, the food industry and the food ingredient industry is our biggest industry there. Followed then by tourism. You have to be self-sufficient with that. So, you know, the idea was you're stronger, you're very magic. You can see the water anyway, but the edge there is talking about maybe 6 feet thick.
Really nice. I guess that's what it's oh.
Thank you.
You want one of you and Kathy?
She wants to take the back.
Okay.
Well, Colleen's going to send you all that. Yeah.
Oh, we have burgers, yeah? Yes. Hamburger? Yes.
Dublin.
We're looking at now where we've just left. Guys, right across the bay you can see what looks like a large island. Yeah. That's Holt. H-O-W-T-H. Holt or Holt Head. It's actually a peninsula. Lovely fishing villages around there as well. If ever you're back again, guys, pop out there, especially on Sunday. There's a great market out there around the harbour. Lovely fresh seafood, and actually there's food from all over the world there. And there's also seals sailing. Yeah, I need a whiskey. There's actually seals swimming around the ships, actually in the harbour as well. You can feed them as well. They're all there looking for it. Free as it is, we'll actually cover the road in also. And it's like a big crustacean on top of a marsh, and this is what we cut away and what's hard, what's horns. Incidentally, those little white feathers, the bog cotton, This whole area, guys, in the summer is known as the feather beds. The whole area is covered in little white flowers. It looks like somebody forced it.
Smile! No bathrooms on this tour.
Straight edge. And you can see sort of lying on the ground down here on the right hand side. Guys, you can see the ground where it's been cut away here, straight edge. And basically what you do is you stand on top of the higher ground here and you use a special shovel or spade, and it's shaped like an L. So if you look down the handle, we say, you're looking down at an L, like this. It's not in the ground. The ground is just a little crustacean, like cutting through a solid grass, and then it slides down to soft dirt, soft soil down below here. You cut down and you just flick out. And you leave the wet sod and turf lying on the lower ground down here, and you leave them there for a few days. Once they're cut away from the main ground here, they start to harden and dry out. When they're cutting out first, guys, they're very, very soft, like soft. You can't really handle it. So you just cut and flick and leave it there where it lands. And you leave, and then they start to shrink and harden. So you can see the sod and turf. They would have been nearly 3 times the size.
Guinness Lake.
We know this because of the stone that's used in the building of this. It's called shilts. You can see it here, guys, around. There's like a little layered stuff here, like snakes. That's shilts. And that's used here. And it wasn't available until around the 10th century. Now, there was a gatehouse here when the monastery was established, but it would have been knocked down in one of the many raids that went on here throughout time. People coming in and invading this place and robbing it of its valuables, gold and silver and so on. Now, guys, how you build this is you build a scaffolding in the centre. St. Peter and St. Paul. St. Peter's the far end, 10th century, and St. Paul's here we're standing now, 12th century. Now this would have been built on later on as the community grew, the congregation had to grow as well, and the cathedral had to be extended to accommodate these new people. Down below, guys, you can see the building techniques. Large stones placed on the ground. No foundations again were used. So large stones placed on the ground to take the weight. Locally quarried stones then are used to build up the walls. And then, if you look, there's little holes in the back wall down here. What's happened here is, when you build up so far, you can't reach up any higher. You've got to cut a few trees down. Put the trees on top of what you built. Stand on the trees like a scaffolding, and carry on building up. You put your wooden roof on. As you go down, then you cut out these trees. As you finish your work, come back there, put the trees out. Leave the stumps in the wall. Now the roof is constructed around the 15th century. These pieces of wood have long since been washed away. Now, down below as well, guys, the windows.
And the ring is not pierced. Normally they're pierced. The ring of the pagan god, blue, god of light. They're marrying up of both faiths. It's a bit like the sanctuary stone we passed by right, the sequence across it. Pagans always mark their holy sites with stones. Okay? And likewise, Christians do the same thing, and usually in the same place. Not to confuse them, but they're primarily up both. We didn't suddenly become Christian here overnight. A matter of here to change overnight. There's one thing I'm told about this cross is that if you put your arms around it from east to west, second of all, come back to clean it up before you die. And third, and most importantly, you need long arms.
One more. Guys, you can see it's getting quite busy here now, the other tours, so I'm trying to keep this as easy as possible now for everybody, all the tour guides. Right guys, down below us we have St. Kevin's Church. It's one of the 7 churches in the valley. You look to our left hand side here, to my left hand side, you can see St. Bridget's Church off in the distance. That's one of the 7 churches also. So you St. Bridget's, you St. Kevin's, and then further down guys you can see the 2 men standing here, the man in the black jacket looking at his camera now. He's standing inside St. Kieran's. That's 1, 2, 3. St. Peter, St. Paul's, 4, 5, St. Mary's and the Holy Trinity. They're the 7 churches in this valley. So it's known as the Valley of the 7 Churches also. And this is where they would educate people about this new religion and so on. But first thing in the morning guys, all the priests would celebrate Mass here in this little church down here, St. Kevin's, themselves, privately. Nobody else was allowed in, only priests. So they went inside there, and one man went into this little outhouse, this little building here, which again is the vestry, or the sacristy, and he prepares bread and wine. There's only one little window on ground level, and that's facing east, and that's in that little building. As the sun started to rise, we'd shine a bit of light in there, he'd put his robes on, prepare his bread and wine, and walk in then to the main body.
Mimi, that was personal.
Oh, you're going to go both feet?
Yeah, what? Yeah, go ahead, get froze back.
Here, I got.
Dale.
You should at least go into the fields.
Oh, it's lovely. Oh, it's not nearly as cold as the North Sea. It's not too bad. It's just a little bit worse than New York.
I'm not going to waste a picture if you're not going to go eat or something.
Oh, this is nice.
That's a great picture.
Yeah, put your hands in it, please.
You want to go in, honey?
Yeah.
Richard Wilson called Turning the Place Over. Turning the Place Over consists of an 8-metre diameter ovoid cut from the facade of the building made to oscillate in 3 dimensions. The revolving facade rests on a specially designed giant rotator, usually used in shipping and nuclear industries, and acts as a huge opening and closing window, offering recurrent glimpses of the interior during its constant cycle during daylight hours. And you'll see a beautiful domed building which juts out into the road. This is our town hall. It was built in the 1750s. Its ground floor was originally intended as an exchange, where deals were done for the many and varied cargoes which entered and exited the port of Liverpool, which of course included human cargo. This next stop, crossing the road directly into Temple Court. Remember to ask our driver for times of buses from here and keep your ticket safe, as you will have to show it when you rejoin us later. The first building on the left is the Liverpool Museum and Library, with its dinosaur gallery, planetarium and natural history centre. You can take a journey through time and explore the universe and massive views of the city and the surrounding areas. We are making our way towards Liverpool's Chinatown. It is the home of the oldest Chinese community in Europe. Chinese merchants came here during Liverpool's great trading days. Being shrewd businessmen, they set up here in the city, brokering trade between...
Наберите 6000 и Долфин 123. Большое спасибо.
Keed my falsha. Kel my falsha. Stefan, which is my name is Stephen, and 1,000 warm welcome to Belfastia, which is Belfast in Irish.
Very good, thank you.
Just before we start, you see the mountain to your right?
Yes.
You see it?
Yeah.
You ever hear of Gulliver's Travels?
Yes.
Everybody knows Gulliver's Travels? Well, that's where the idea came from, Gulliver's Travels. If you look at the mountain, you'll see the shape of the form of the forehead. You'll come down, the nose, the chin. The idea is of the sleeping giant.
Oh, look at that.
You'll see that as you go round, you'll see it. It's sort of, you'll see it better when we go onto the motorway.
I got to get the story. I left it in the car, so I have to tell you about it afterwards. Are you walking?
I'd rather walk.
I forgot. Especially now that we're not doing the bushmill. If we were doing the bushmill, that might have, but we're going to have more than that. We'll be prepared. We'll be fine. He is a talker, isn't he? Interesting, though. At least we're learning. See, that is the good thing about coming. You just have to be careful where you walk. Take a photograph up here, honey?
Yeah.
Cool. Hey, yeah, with this in the background, that's neat. Come here so we can take a picture before other people come in.